Hello, everybody. My name is Hannah Nichols, and today I am going to be discussing with you my final project for the semester, in which I explore the power of social media in world language classrooms. I myself am a world language educator. I teach ninth and 10th grade Spanish, so I think that's important to keep in mind throughout this presentation. So, first of all, I wanted to discuss the importance of an authentic digital literacy and what does that word authentic actually mean. New York State defines authentic as a resource or a text that is unedited for language learners. And it was really produced for consumption by speakers of that language, native speakers. But engaging with these kinds of resources and literacies can have a lot of benefits for our students who are just learning the language. First of all, it gives them a relevant context and exposure to the language. They can see vocab and grammar in context, how it would actually be used in a conversation or in a presentational communication setting, and not just in the classroom. It also can be beneficial for building cultural proficiency and not just linguistic proficiency. Um, and an authentic resource can give students a space where they can actually connect with and learn from people of diverse backgrounds and stories, which is really the purpose of learning a language, not just to learn the grammar rules and not just to learn new words and have that kind of under their belt. They really want to be able to learn from and connect with other people who they wouldn't be able to without that language skill. And then finally, engaging with these types of digital resources can help students develop and grow in their 21st century critical thinking skills, which are so important and so vital for today's student. Just being able to interpret information correctly, interpret speaker motive, and then, of course, produce their own content for an audience. There are many educational benefits to using social media in the classroom. It's firstly engaging for students. It invites them to become producers of their own learning. It gives them a space to produce content of their choosing, explore different ideas creatively. It can also give them an immersive cross-cultural experience within the very walls of your classroom. You don't always have to jump on a plane with your students and go to a different country to get that immersion that's so vital to world language education. Lastly, it gives a virtual space for collaboration among students and a greater worldwide audience as well. So it gives them a space to share and to learn from those native speakers. The five standards of world language education in New York State are the following on the screen. First, we have our communication standards, which are interpretive, interpersonal, and presentational. And then lastly, we have our cultural standard, which the two of those are relating cultural products and practices to perspectives, and of course, cultural comparison. So I believe using social media in the world language classroom really can hit all of those standards, depending on how you choose to take the lesson. So it can be a place for interpretive communication where students are really ingesting the information that they see in posts, in videos, in text, in memes, and interpreting that information and critically thinking about it as well. It can be a space where our learners are having conversation with others. It could be students in the classroom about what they're seeing online, or actual communication through comments, through reactions, through video with users of social media outside of the classroom. And then, of course, it gives a space for students to present information in the target language and to practice that communication skill, whether that's creating a post of text or a video or a meme for themselves. It also is a space where students can observe different cultural products and perspectives. And then through guidance in the classroom, the teacher can kind of discuss with the students what they're seeing online, how they can relate that to a perspective that that culture may have that our culture doesn't. Of course, there's some things to consider if you are thinking about implementing social media use in your classroom. Um, Pedagogy needs to be strong and it needs to be really purposeful. You cannot just send your students to social media and hope for the best because it's engaging for them and it's fun and they do it every day. We have a really unique role, especially in this today's digital environment, to be the model for our students that they so desperately need for social media use that is appropriate and educational as well. Of course, all literacies should be previewed beforehand just to ensure that they are appropriate for the level of student that you're working with. Their identity and privacy should be protected according to the law, the FERPA laws. And then lastly, proficiency in both academic language and colloquial language should be promoted within the classroom. It's not enough to just expose our students to social media language, even though it is really, really important and super relevant. They also, the classroom's the only place that they're going to learn the academic language that they need to become proficient in this target language. And so a blend of the two is also very important. Social media is the ultimate equalizer, as Amy Jo Martin said. It does give a voice and a platform to our students if they're willing to engage, and of course, if we as educators are willing to engage and to bring social media into our classroom. So I hope you all learned something new and have something to consider moving forward. Thank you for your time.